Get your coffee for GHC Coffee Break. Joining me today will be Angie Robinson. Get your coffee.
Seven 7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Hey, welcome to GHC Coffee Break. I'm glad you could join me today with Angie Robinson, who has been a guest before on our show. She's definitely one of my popular guests, I think, and I get a lot of compliments when you joined me. So thank you for joining me today. I know we're getting ready. One of the things that I talked to you about is stress around the holidays. This is a hard time of year. Even if everything is perfect, it's a hard time of year, I think, for a lot of people.
It is, and for whatever reason, and probably for many reasons, holidays are stressful. And so it's important to deal with our stress. So I wanted to talk about some fun ways to deal with stress.
I need some fun ways to deal with stress. I know you've been on the show a couple of times with Laughter Yoga, and I actually went through the instructor training a couple months ago. But I have actually found myself doing that in the middle of the car, or just when something's getting tense, I'll just, oh God.
Yes.
Fake it till I make it even. So yeah, having fun is a good thing. So please share.
It is. And I'll talk a little bit more about the laughter, but it's kind of involved with laughter, but when we're stressed, we get unhappy. And it's kind of like, how do we deal with the stress if we're unhappy? That's hard to do.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people really get stuck. So this new school of positive psychology actually looks at how to increase your happiness.
Oh.
So increasing happiness is a great stress coping mechanism.
Okay.
Because if you can increase your sense of happiness, it's going to be easier to cope with your stress. So I think it's almost, and what the research is showing is it really does help coping with stress.
Okay.
Is to have a more positive outlook. Well, you have a more positive outlook if you're happier.
That makes sense.
So positive psychology really looks at what are the activities we can do that improve our sense of happiness.
I'm liking this already.
So, because I'll talk about some of the other stress relievers, but I think it's important to look at, and because this time of the year, this really makes sense. One of my favorite stress relievers that adds to happiness is doing a gratitude journal. Gratitude journals, I think, are extremely helpful when you're stressed, because when you're stressed, all you see is the negative.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
So by writing down what we are grateful for, that's actually the things that are working well. These are the positives in our life, and it helps us balance. Because, when we're stressed, we feel out of balance. So by writing down, and it's important that you actually write them down, and be very specific. You can't, it's not going to be helpful if you say, I'm grateful for everything.
Right.
You have to be really specific. I'm grateful I have a job.
Yes.
I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for my family. I am grateful I woke up today. I mean, sometimes you look at those little things. It's not necessarily these great big things. I'm glad the sun is shining today. And it really helps you refocus and in a more positive frame of mind.
Right.
And I think that's, in doing some research on stress management, that is one of the hardest things for people who are stressed, is to follow a whole nother set of stress management techniques when you feel so negative.
Right. No, I agree.
So it's kind of like you have to build your happiness, get more positive before you can then maybe do some of the other coping.
Right.
So I almost see it as, this is what you need to do first, is get yourself feeling better. And that's one way.
That makes sense, because like for first thing I said when you walked in, I said, it's been a stressful semester. And it really, as you're saying that, I'm sitting here thinking about, well, you know, what have I done to make myself happy?
And that's what happens when we get stressed. We forget about that. And we forget that the stress is making us unhappy.
Yeah. Wow.
And so to really then look at our happiness level and what we can do.
We need a happiness. I wish I thought we could have got a happiness thermometer.
Yes. Oh, I like that. The other thing that, again, I think is very important this time of the year, that we know that increases our happiness and our sense of purpose and positivity, is doing for others.
Yeah. No, that does
It's
make
giving
me happy.
back.
Yeah.
And it can be the simple things. It's volunteering, it is donating to charities, it's just helping a friend in need. It can be those simple things, but sometimes when we're stressed, we get very self-centered, because it's like
it's about me.
It is, and I don't know how to get out of it. So sometimes just finding one thing we can do that may be helping somebody else actually winds up helping us more.
Oh, I definitely agree.
And this is the season to do those things.
Well, that's true. It is.
Is to give back and do for others.
And being, I think that really goes along with Thanksgiving just passed. The gratitude, the Thanksgiving, giving thanks for things that we have gotten, instead of dwelling on what we don't have, which is so easy to dwell on the other side.
Yes.
And forget the things that we do have. And then the aspect of giving and paying it forward, which is really funny. You know, now that you mention that, and I hope I can get to this rather easily, it's probably falling all the way down to my pocket. Oh, there it is. I brought you a little something to give to you.
Oh.
It says, never drive faster than your guardian angel can fly. So
I love that.
So hopefully you will think about me and be safe. And there's my little gift giving for you.
I love that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Oh, that is just perfect.
And honestly, I did not plan to do it during the show, but when it came up, it was like, hey, things happen for a reason.
And I think that is just perfect. It's perfect.
So yes, and it does make me feel good.
Yeah. Makes me feel good too.
There you go.
So let me kind of go on with some other things.
Yeah, I know y'all all jealous. It's okay.
Is, again, the research talking about positive attitude.
Right.
It is also talking. The research shows that people who have a better sense of humor cope better with stress. So, how do we increase? How do we increase our sense of humor?
Yes, because I know some really dry people.
And you know, people who are very, very serious tend to get stressed out more often.
Then darn, what's wrong with me? I'm never serious and I'm stressed out now.
Doesn't mean we don't get stressed. It's just, but again, we cope better with the stress.
Okay.
So, to me, that's part of where laughter comes in. Is laughter, because it releases the endorphins in the brain, and it does make us feel happy. So laughter can bring more happiness. When we laugh for no reason, just to laugh for the health benefits or to release stress, that's humorous.
And it is, and it's funny because I was sharing with you before the show that we went to Tennessee, which for us it was about a 30.5 hour drive probably. Myself, my mom, my stepdad, and my sister. And we were getting tired in the traffic. And so anyway, I just all of a sudden, and what the heck are you doing? And I said, it's laughter yoga. And so we started, laughing. And somebody said, well, how can you laugh at something that's not laughable or when you're not, just laughing? I said, well, we call it fake it till you make it. And just to absolutely start out as a good girl, because bottom line, excuse me, my nose itches. That's humorous too.
Yes.
Itchy nose. Does that mean somebody's coming or something? But, that just to do it, and eventually if you do make it. I mean,
Yes.
something will get me tickled and I'll get it turned over, and then I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, it becomes real laughter, and it's releasing all those endorphins throughout your body that just make you feel so good, make you feel happy.
So how do you help somebody get a good sense of humor?
One is through laughter.
Okay.
That definitely helps because you have to get out of your comfort level to laugh.
Okay.
And then really, I think the other side of dealing with stress and looking at the lighter side is looking at your perspective on what stress is.
That's true. What stresses you may not stress me, and vice versa.
Right, right. Because a lot of it is our perception of stress. Because stress is a part of life.
Yeah.
Right? We can't escape it. It's all about how we cope with it and how we, in laughter yoga, one of the things is we look at situations that we cannot control.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I want to laugh about it or do I want to cry about it? And will either make a difference. Well, if neither will make a difference, laughing about it is going to be much more benefit than
more
crying
fun.
about it. Yes, yes. Because there are some things, we really can't control.
Yeah.
If someone hits your car,
Yeah.
you can't control that. It happened. It was an accident. All right. Getting all stressed about it is not going to change what happened.
That's true. Can't undo it.
No. So why not laugh about it?
Okay.
Because when you laugh, you get more oxygen to the brain, therefore you can think of options. When you stress, your mind shuts down and you get tunnel vision and you can't see your options.
And you tend to hyperventilate, which is decreasing the oxygen to your brain.
Yes, yes, which makes everything worse. Right. So it's how we look at the things that happen in life.
Okay.
So we can learn to not be so serious and look at what we can control. And if we can't control it, how do we want to approach our life?
Right.
And how do we want to approach? I like to look at events that happen that we would consider stressful events, is looking at, all right, what can I learn from this? Always looking at what's the positive side of this stressful event?
Yeah.
Because almost everything you can learn something from it, that's the positive side. May not be something you chose that you wanted to learn.
True. Yeah, don't ever ask to God grant you the patience, because He will give you or teach you patience, one way or the other.
Yes, you will get those events.
Right. Okay, so that makes sense. What's next on your agenda there?
Well, and I think some of the basics that kind of go even with the positive psychology is doing relaxation. Learning to relax your mind. Some people like meditation, some just like doing the relaxation exercises. It can be as simple, for a lot of people, listening to music is extremely relaxing. It can be taking the hot bath, but it's doing those simple things of what makes you feel good. And it's part of it's taking care of kind of the mind and the body at the same time, because when we get stressed, our body's impacted. So you also with these other activities and want to take care of yourself, your mind, and your body, and have some relaxation.
Yeah, because you're right. We only have a couple of seconds left in this segment, and we'll talk about it when we get back. But I find when I'm stressed, I feel it in my body. So get your coffee. We'll talk. We will be right back to talk about getting rid of stress.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. We're talking about, to me, something that's very serious, and having fun, de-stressing. I know that there's a lot of depression this time of year. Unfortunately, we have people that don't find the hope and fall into hopelessness. Both you and I have worked with suicide intervention, prevention, and postvention. You being a clinical sociologist have worked a lot with people who've had depression. And so I really kind of wanted this show to be, yes, we address those things, because I think if we don't talk about the elephant in the closet, the elephant's going to bust through. So I think it's something very important to acknowledge, but also to move to that next step of, okay, we know there's stress. We know that there's times we feel hopeless and helpless, but there's always something we can do. It doesn't necessarily, yes, we should go to our resources, absolutely. But how can we help ourselves, first? And when we left, we were, our last part of the show, we were talking about the body and how the body definitely can be impacted by the stress.
Yes.
I tend to hold mine in my shoulder, really, and or neck. And I think a lot of people do either shoulder or back, I've heard. But so how do we, take that away and move forward to something more positive?
And I think we were talking about relaxation and doing relaxing type things that help calm the body. But there's also more active things that people do, such as exercise. Some people, jogging gets rid of stress. Going to the gym, walking on the treadmill, working out with machines, dancing.
I can't. I have 2 left feet, but I love to try.
And again,
Look like I'm having a seizure.
It's the activity. Singing, playing instruments, anything that is active and focuses your mind. Because any of those activities, you have to focus on your activity. And that focus actually is relaxing.
Because it's a different focus than what you were.
Yes, and it's off of the stress that or whatever you're worried about.
Okay.
That gets put aside because you're having to focus on that one activity. Okay. So it actually helps reduce the tension that you may be feeling in your body.
Okay.
But certainly, with relaxation, you can also, massages are great.
I know.
For getting the tension out. That is a great idea.
That's one gift to me a month.
And that's perfect.
I have a membership, and not only does it help the physiological, which it does, and that's why I started initially going to it, is because of some physical things going on in my body. But I definitely found relief in going to mental relief in going to a massage therapist. So yeah, I totally recommend that.
And then for the simplest thing people can do is just talk to somebody. Find somebody that you can talk with and just talk about what's bothering you. Because when we hold it in, it gets worse.
Yeah, I can contest to that.
So, at least one trusted friend. There are hotlines. If you don't have a friend you talk to, there's all kinds of hotlines you can call and talk to somebody and just talk them through. because that just makes it make more sense to you. Talking it out also a lot of times brings up, it clears your mind enough to think of some of the solutions to deal with it.
Right.
And sometimes we just need ideas from other folks. If we can't think of how to deal with this, just talking to somebody can give us some ideas and some options. And that really, I think, is, as you were talking about, because a lot of times there is a lot of depression around the holidays. And usually it's when people are feeling very isolated. And it is the time we need to connect with other people. Find somebody. It makes a difference.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. And, you know, just a little, it doesn't even have to cost anything. Little note cards or, you know, a piece of paper, just something that says, hey, I know I don't say this much, but I really appreciate what you do for me.
Yes.
A lot of times that gift is more invaluable to me than anything else. Just a note, or even kind words. You know, walking down the street and smiling at a stranger. They may think you're crazy, but you know what? That's okay. Then when they walk by, they may go, hey, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And nothing else, it makes you feel good.
Oh yeah.
To smile.
I love to smile.
And smile is like laughter. It also releases endorphins, just the act of smiling. I used to do what was called smile therapy.
Oh, no.
With,
no, this one.
Well, and it's very, very simple. And I would do it with homebound patients I saw who were depressed.
Okay.
And what we would do is using a mirror, and they had to practice smiling at themselves several times a day. And it, you know, sometimes you can be so depressed you can't smile.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or it hurts to smile.
And it really physically does.
Yes. But practicing it, it's like anything. You practice it, it gets easier. The more you smile, the more, again, your brain chemicals are released that are your happiness chemicals, and you will start to feel better just by curling up your lips in a smile.
That
yes.
is awesome.
Sometimes it's the simplest thing.
Yeah.
People can just, you practice smiling at yourself in the mirror. If you're having a bad day, you're going to feel better if you smile at yourself for a minute.
I like that. And it's funny because I'll kind of do devil's advocate, almost opposite. I'll go, all right, now what I want you to do is not smile. The more you tell somebody not to smile, the more that smile wants to come up.
Same thing if you tell them not to laugh.
Right, exactly. Yes. Now, don't laugh. Whatever you do, don't laugh. So,
And it'll definitely make somebody laugh.
isn't it funny how our minds work?
Yes,
But
yes.
that's we're so interconnected, and to get that homeostasis, that balance, we know we're going to have bad things happen. They do.
Yeah.
Deer may hit your car. You know, it's horrible what happened in Tennessee. My heart still is hurting from that, and I'm not even there, and I wasn't directly impacted by it. We had actually just left.
Oh, wow.
But that Saturday, and then the winds picked up on Sunday and caused the fire to spread. But you know, I was sitting there thinking about the people. At first, we didn't have loss of life. They didn't talk about it because they were looking at buildings, which is sad. But I was thinking about the animals who had no, you know, they didn't know what was going on. They're losing their homes. Then people began to lose their lives, and then you know, so it really hurt my heart. And so to go, okay, now what can we do? And people are stepping up, and I think that's another thing in tragedy, for people to step up and say, hey, and you know my starfish story, I may not can make a difference to everybody, but if I can pick up and help one person, I've done what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly. And I think that's a really good analogy when we're looking at stress and talking about, you know, stressful life events, and that you find something good out of it. We have seen that over and over again in this country when tragedy strikes. We as a nation step up.
We do.
We step up, and I think that's one of those things. To me, that's a gratitude, to be grateful that the people in this country step up and help each other.
Yes.
And I think that's something for folks to remember, that if you're going through a hard time, if you let somebody know, people will step up.
And that's the other piece of it. That's asking for help
Yes.
is a sign of strength.
Yes.
And I
yes.
think that, we look at it as being weak. Oh, I need you to help me move this couch. I mean, I'm using a simple analogy,
Mm-hmm.
but because I'm strong, I can do it. Well, it's the same thing in our other parts of our lives. We don't have to do it alone.
No.
We can break our back doing it alone, physically and mentally. So coming up and saying, hey, Angie, I really just need a hug today.
Yeah. And that's okay. People love that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody, I give out hugs for free all the time. So come find me at Georgia Highlands.
Yeah.
And she does laughter all the time. So
Yes, and I will laugh with anybody, anytime, anywhere.
So, but I think it is, and I think it goes back to what we talked about earlier, the giving to
Yes,
others,
yes.
making us feel good.
Yes. And as you were talking, we all have different strengths.
Yes,
And we have different strengths at different times.
absolutely.
But we're not strong in every part of our life all the time.
No.
So it is okay to ask for someone to help us when one of the areas of our life is a little down and we need someone to help support us.
Absolutely. I mean, foundations. Think of a house. A house couldn't stand alone as big and strong as a house is if it didn't have a good, firm foundation.
That's right.
And so, the foundation is what the house had to ask for the foundation. I know that's a crazy analogy, and it was one of those that just hit me, but it's true. You can have this big, strong, massive something, architecture, but if it doesn't have that foundation, it's not going to stand long.
No.
So I think that's a very good, important thing to remember, is to build those relationships, to build those people. Don't hang around negative people. If they're bringing you down, find somebody else. They're really not your friend. I promise you that. All they can do is bring you down.
And that's true. And that's very hard for some people.
Oh, absolutely.
To sometimes let go of the negativity that may be in their lives. But you need to find the things that are happy, fun. I always encourage people in laughter is find comedies. Watch comedies.
Things that make you laugh.
Yes. Anything you can do to encourage yourself to laugh, it just makes you feel better. And laughter actually reduces the stress hormone cortisol that makes us sick when we're stressed. So laughter is one of the greatest stress reducers, gives you more oxygen to your brain, which means you can think of solutions better. It helps with a lot of things.
Angie, our time is almost up.
Oh no!
I'm going to be sad. But this has been really great. You have helped me today. So get your coffee. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a new pet that your family will cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals, eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. We're going to go out with our favorite things. So Angie, start naming your favorite things, and I'll throw in something every now and then.
Oh, my favorite things, y'all know, is flamingos. In the pink, and because that means healthy. So that's kind of my symbol for health.
Mine is the bear. My favorite thing is the bear. The bear gives me strength, and it's powerful when it needs to be, but it doesn't have to be.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
So, well, I think our time is up. Until next time on GHC Coffee Break, we'll see ya.